In this episode of my podcast, Breaking Barriers, I will be in conversation with Lalchand Rajput. He is a former Indian cricketer and the current head coach of the Zimbabwe national team. He is in Zimbabwe at the moment, coaching the Zimbabwe national team, and I tried to connect with him and speak about and talk about, discuss about the Indian team's performance at the Australian tour, and what a performance the Indians have given up without a lot of biggies being injured. Virat Kohli coming back to India, taking a leave from the cricketing world, and then nobody expected India to perform stupendously, and yes, Indian team proved it right, and they played to their full potential with their bat, bowl or fielding. Well, let me connect with Lalchand Rajput and let's just discuss about India's performance.
Everyone knows that it's a very, very historic win. One of the greatest test match wins, I would say, and a test series win abroad, and that too especially at Gabba, because last time somebody won at Gabba was in 1988 that the West India won. So after winning there after 18 to 19 years, I think it's very, very credible for the Indian team. The first test match we lost very badly in 3 days, and that too we were 36 all out. To come back after that, win the test match and win the series, and that too in a style where no one thought that we would win on the 5th day. I think it's credible. I think the boys have put a lot of courage, they have shown a lot of determination, they have shown a lot of character, and I think there are no words to describe them. If you look at this test match, the last test match, we were really plagued by the injuries. In fact, our fast bowling unit, among themselves, got only 5 test match experience. So, a lot of inexperience in the bowling unit. Plus, our batting, I think, we have missed Virat Kohli, we have missed, Jadeja, we have missed Hanuman Vihari, we have missed Ashwin. And the main bowling was Bumrah, Shami, Yadav, you name it, I think. Right. So, in fact, this, I think, test match win will be remembered for a long, long time in the years to come.
Absolutely, and the kind of character, like you mentioned, the kind of character the Indian team, the new Indian team, if I may say so, has shown today was not only today, throughout the test match was, incredible. And of course, like you mentioned, there were no biggies, and a lot of experienced, veterans said that, without Virat Kohli, Indian team will be, whitewashed by the Australians, and, stuff like that was coming in from all the veterans Australian cricketers, and everything proved to be wrong. They showed, actually, when we were watching cricket today by Rishabh Pant, it was almost like watching a T20 match.
I think now this team has become very fearless, let's be very honest, because they just played the IPL. They have been playing IPL for the last 10 years, so most of the players are more matured, they know how to win games. And in T20, you know that the matches go to the wire, and the last 5 overs you can get 50, 60 runs, wickets in hand. So these are things which they have experienced it. And so do it in a test match, because you have done it in a T20, that shows the character and the application. To be very honest, the attitude of the players have changed. Let's be very critical that the attitude. Earlier the attitude was very easy. We'll beat that. Now the attitude is that at any cost we will not lose the game. Even if we are behind, like if you look back at the last test match, the Sydney test match, right. At one stage when Rishabh Pant was batting, we thought that we will win the test match, taking for almost 400 runs. So that also gives us the confidence that this team can win from any situation. Even today at Gabba, where the ball was doing, the pitch was doing up and down, because if you look at that, the 5th day test match, no one has got more than 320 runs. And to get there, and that too in style, because the 3 wickets still were there and 3 overs to spare. So I think these players have started believing in that. That's the first thing. Self-belief. Secondly, the attitude. And thirdly, we have shown character. If you see today's innings of Yara, he has taken so many blows on him, because in fact, I was watching the test match, I think he never decided. He said, "Oh, I'll take on, but I will not do my, wicket. I will not do my wicket easily." He was hit on the helmet, he was hit the forearm, on the elbow, on the chest, and no. So that shows the character of this team. I think resilience is very, very important for these players, and I think there are no words to describe this team, because if you look at the team's overall composition, I think this team was definitely not that experienced team, but the way they played and showed that character, I think it was top class.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, they were not quite experienced, and Natarajan, he was taken overseas just to be a net bowler, and all of a sudden, he made his debut in all the formats. What would you call Natarajan's, inclusion and in the team, and would you call it his luck that he was in the team and he bought everything that he could bring in as a youngster, as an inexperienced player?
What is very important for any cricketer, okay? But I always believe the harder you work, the luckier you become. He has really worked hard at his game, coming from a place, a small village, and then no background of cricket, coming into IPL as first as they just scouted him as a net bowler, then to come into the IPL team, then to perform, then to be selected for India in the T20 form because somebody was injured. So if you look at those last 1 month, 1.5 months of his, I think it has got a lot of luck to him, because he has worked very hard at his game. And he's very sincere, he's down to earth, and he loves cricket, I think, because he just wants to do well in cricket, and that shows it, because in T20 he bowled well, in the one day he bowled well, even a test match, because he made his debut, but the way he bowled in both the innings, he got 3 wickets, and he thought that he has got a lot of experience of test cricket. So if you look at our bowling attack, Shardul Thakur played his second test match, Siraj is playing his third test match, Saini is playing his first test match, he made his debut, and Washington Sundar was playing his second test match. So if you look at our bowling unit, it was 5 test match experience. But the way they bowled and they put the Australians on the back foot, I think they pushed them to the wall. And they could not overtake our bowlers. So that shows the character, I think. Again, I would say IPL definitely has helped, because they play against the best players of the world. They rub shoulders, they have in the dressing room, they interact with them, and then the self-belief and the resilience they show. And I think it's tremendous.
Absolutely. And how can we not talk about Ajinkya Rahane? I mean, someone who has been extremely calm, composed, down to earth, humble, and, somebody who has led from the front. And the gesture that he made today before lifting the Gavaskar Border Trophy, presenting a T-shirt to Nathan Lyon on his 100th test. These are the kind of character that Ajinkya Rahane has shown to the entire cricketing world, and he's getting all kind of attention now.
Yeah, if you look at my tweet, I have tweeted today because Captain Cool, because he's such a guy who's very quiet, very cool, never get excited. Even today when we won, the last run was scored, everyone was jumping, but he just stood there and he was smiling there, and it just took him his pride, because after 36 all out, the next test match he was leading, he led from the front. That was the turning point. He got that 100, which made us win the test match. The partnership between him and Pika. So, if you look at that test match, that has brought the team together. And I think he has also, as a captain, he gives freedom to the players to express themselves. They played freely. They expressed themselves. Like Pant played freely last test also. They were given enough row. You don't worry about a wicket. You just go and play your natural game. And I think that has really, got the team together and made this historic test series win.
Right, absolutely. And the kind of, like you mentioned, he has given the freedom to his players, and he is somebody who has never shown his emotion on field, off field. So that's the kind of character the entire team has shown under his leadership. And like Mr. Ravi Shastri, after post-match, he also mentioned that, this was the toughest period for the team, to go out to Australia with all the restrictions for the COVID-19 pandemic, and then, a lot of racism attack on some of the Indian Indian players, and then there were a lot of horror stories coming in from Brisbane, and then, making a comeback and winning the Gabba test after 32 years. It's something which is going to be absolutely special, not only for cricketers, not only for the players, but also for all the fans out there, isn't it?
As I said, this series win and this test match win will be remembered for years to come also, because people will always talk about this thing, because COVID was one thing, then the restrictions, then the bio bubble, then the players' mindset, because when you're in the bio bubble, your mindset is not there, but to come out very strong, and injuries like with the team, I think everything went against us, and to play against all odds and to be successful, that is the greatest win of, I think, best of a player, and that these players showed. That's why I keep on saying, they showed that character, they showed the courage, you call it courage, the resilience, whatever it is. I think this team has proved that at no given time, we will never give up,
Absolutely.
And for the Australians, I would say, they thought that they will just roll over. And in cricket, you should never take things easily. Never take things for granted, As you say, when the chips are down, make sure that, you try to crumble that. Don't allow them to come up. And I think Australians took it a little bit easy because they won the first test in 3 days and 36 all out.
Right.
They were thinking that, Kohli is gone, so this team is definitely, but this team has shown that even if you lose few players, this team can win from any situation.
And you have had the opportunity throughout your career of, nurturing and, polishing young players. The Twitter is abuzz, by appreciating Rahul Dravid for, polishing these young people who made great, debuts and showing fine cricket in Gabba. So what's your take on Rahul Dravid, people appreciating Rahul Dravid for grooming young people?
Yeah, obviously, because he was the guy who got this 18 under 19. So under 19 to 18, then he was the coach for the last 3 years of the under 19 and 18. So these are the players that, especially Pant, Shubman Gill, these youngsters, all those who have come into the team, they were heard from the India A and under 19. So I think hats off to him, because he knows what is required at the test level, how to combat that thing, how to fight it out. I think these are the things which he must have definitely put them in their head, and you can see this thing in the middle. So our players are scared that they don't want to give a wicket easily. They just want to go there and try to win the game for the team. Look at Rishabh Pant's interview after the game. He said, my just aim was to win the game for the country. That's what he did. Last game he missed out, but this game he
And there are a section of people, cricket lovers and ex-cricketers who have come up with different opinions, like, change of captaincy now. Why not give it T20 to, Virat Kohli, and one day to Rohit Sharma, and then test to Ajinkya Rahane. As an experienced player, what's your take on this? How would you react to this statement?
I think it's too early to just because we have won the test series, we should not be overboard. I think it's a long way, to go. Yes, it's a special test victory. Let's go there and enjoy that test victory. Now the series is coming against England, so let's play that. The momentum going. I think the real test will be when we go to England. That is a real test, and then I think we can take a call. But now it's too early to say on that.
On that note, Mr. Rajput, thank you so much for giving us your time, and that too talking to me from Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for your thoughts, for your comments, and really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well, time now to say goodbye from Breaking Barriers. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Well, it's technology that connects, and this time with technology, I tried to connect with Mr. Lalchand Rajput, who is in Zimbabwe, and there was a little bit of disturbance in our phone connectivity, but nevertheless, I tried my best, and I hope you like this podcast. To connect with me, I'm active on Facebook, and also you can connect me on Instagram. I'm as H Prarthana. Do feel free, and I would also like to thank a lot of you who have written about my podcast, Breaking Barriers, and thank you once again for
supporting me. Thank you.